Hello, how are you? This is Els coming from Bemis Crafty Corner, and today I've got this. Now, here's the thing. This is a new challenge, okay? So, I told you guys I was going to do challenges all year, and this is a new challenge. So let me show you this little guy, because he's kind of cute. See? It's kind of cute. So, it is two parts. You know, this comes off. You could put a bottom on it if you wanted to. And, you know, it could be like a little storage box or something. But, basically, what we're going to do is we're going to make these little houses, okay? And this is my little house. And you don't have to do your house like this if you don't want to. But this is my little house. And, we are going to... Hi, Harry. We are going to... we're going to do some prizes for this one. It's not going to be like who's the best or who gets done fastest or anything like that. It's simply going to be this. If you want to participate in this challenge, you're going to make a house within certain parameters, and I'll have those in the description box below. And Harry is right here. He's driving me crazy. And then you're going to take a picture of it, and you're going to submit it to both my Facebook group and Amy's over at Hags Hollow. And one entry is one ticket per person, one entry per person, and we're going to give away some prizes. So this is our end of the year challenge. Okay, so let's talk about how I did this real quick, and then you know, we'll talk about the rest of it. I'll be right back. All right, so supply list on this one is, it's a little different. You're going to want some Tyvek. If you don't know what Tyvek is, this is what they make those postal mailers out of. You can't tear it. You're going to want some Tyvek. You're going to want some chipboard, and you're going to want some very specific chipboard, okay? So, let's talk about the specific chipboard. You are going to want... Get out of my way. Clean piece of paper. You're going to want 4 pieces that are 4 by 5. And 4 pieces that are 5 by 5. Okay? So this is your base. And this is your roof. Now you could make it smaller if you want to. That's up to you. But I'm going to walk you through this, okay? Then, you're going to want, you know, stuff to cover it with. But you are going to want to cut your Tyvek. You're going to want to cut that into 5-inch strips by about 1.5. Okay? So 5.5 by 1.5 is about what you're looking for. And I am going to get all of this cut, and then I'll be back. You should know that I will put this in the shop as a kit if you want to grab one, okay? It'll have all your cut pieces pre-cut. Your Tyvek will be in there, all of that happy hoo-ha-ha. All right? I will be back in just a moment once I have these pieces cut, and I will show you how to put this together. It's really simple. Be right back. Here we go. All right, so I have 4 pieces here that are 4 inches by 5, and that's going to be my base of my house. And so you guys can see this real easy. I'm going to turn this over, okay? And I want something with a straight edge, so I'm going to use the bottom of my pad here to do this. And what I want to do is I want to leave just about 1/8 of an inch between the 2 pieces. Okay, and you're going to put glue on either side. So I'm going to put glue on this one and glue on this one on the edge here. And then make sure that I've got my bottom lined up and that I have the same equal distance between the pieces. And then I'm just going to use my Tyvek to hold this together. Now, if you don't have scraps of Tyvek laying around, and you would prefer to do tape on this, you can certainly do that if you want to. And then I'm just going to move on. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to repeat that process to put these all together. Move on this one. I'm going to give myself that eighth of an inch. And that's just to make it easier when I fold this. There. And I'm just pressing that down, and I'm going to do the last one over here, and then I'm going to show you how to make a square out of this. How do you make a box? I'm going to show you. It's pretty easy. All right. It's easy peasy. All right. Here we go. Again, I have that little bit of a distance between them. Okay. And then you're going to want to do the same thing on the other side. Okay. Put your Tyvek in between. So go do that, and then we'll come back and I'm going to show you how to close it up. Okay. All right. So here's my piece. I have all 4 sections together, all held together with my Tyvek. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold this one in. So use your bone folder or whatever you use to kind of ease that piece. You're going to fold that over. And the reason that you're going to fold that over is because you're going to put glue on this end. And you're going to attach one of your strips of Tyvek about halfway. Okay? So that when you fold this over, you've got this little Tyvek flap. Then you're going to do the same thing over here. Don't forget this one in the middle. Make sure that you ease this as well. Okay. Ease this one. And then when you bring this over, it should have that same gap in the middle. Okay. So, glue. Together. All right, then just put a piece of Tyvek on the top here, and the whole thing is sealed, and it's a box. We're going to ease this one a little bit too. We have a box. Okay, so that is the first part. Easy peasy. So for the next part, we're going to get out the 2 pieces of 5x5, the 4 pieces of 5x5, and I'm going to show you how to get that roof together. Okay, I'll be right back. So to make our roof, we're going to come in 1 3/4 inches and make a mark. And then we're going to do the same thing on the other side, 1 3/4 inches. And we have 2 marks on our card. And then we're going to cut that. We're going to cut from that mark, where the top of the mark is, from here to this corner, okay? And then we're going to do the same thing on the other side. From the mark to the corner. Alright? And you want 4 pieces that look like this. So go ahead and get those all measured and cut, and then we'll be right back. Alright. So I have 4 of these. Still have my Tyvek strips. And we're pretty much going to do the exact same thing here that we did on the box. We're going to put some glue on. Okay. We're going to line these up. And what we're lining up is the top points and the bottom points. going to put our Tyvek on there. And then we're just going to do the next one, just like we did, okay? So glue, glue. Now, this is just one way to do this. If you have another way to do this and you want to do a house a different way, you do your house a different way. As long as this fits within the, you know, the measurements. All right, because we don't want no monster houses here. I don't want anybody going to any huge effort just to, you know, just to participate. Don't get me wrong. I'm going to love to see your creation. And if you make a monster creation, I'm sure it's going to be cool. But we don't need monster creations, okay? So, same thing we did before. We're going to pull the one side over. Adhesive. Tyvek. Lift that up. Bring the other side over. Adhesive. Press it down. Give yourself a little easement. You're going to do your inside piece, your outside pieces. You're going to make sure that you get this Tyvek on there, all the creases, okay? Now, if you don't want to use Tyvek, you don't have Tyvek, you want to use masking tape or bookbinding tape, whatever it is you want to use it. Easy peasy, use it, okay? All right, so I'm going to finish getting this glued up, and once I have it all glued up, I'm going to come back and I'm going to show you how to do that fold in so that you get that flatter roof at the top, okay? You can certainly do this. If this is where you want to, you know, if you want to do it this way, you can do it this way and have the taller, you know, topped roof. But if you want that more mansard that I did on this one, I'm going to show you how to get that. Okie dokie. All right. So go ahead and get all your pieces glued up, and I'll see you back here in just a few seconds. So if you want this roof to be shorter and more of that mansard look, you're going to take a pair of scissors. We get a bigger pair. We can get a bigger pair. And you're going to cut that pretty Tyvek you just put on there. About an inch down each one of your joints. Okay, and then you're just going to fold these in, and it creates kind of a roll, and that's what you want. And then you're just going to hold all of this down with some tape, and I have some paper tape here. I'm going to push down the inside and then the top. Get my tape stuck together. And then I'm just going to go over that. There we go. And then that way. Okay? So now I have that down. And that gives me that rounder, softer, gentler, more the Mansford look, you know, to the roof here. So that's the end of the first part. For the next part, I'll be back. We do have a quick list of supplies on that one. So I'm going to get those out, and I'll be right back, and then we'll get right into it, okay? Supplies for the next part. This is where we're going to get messy. Mod Podge. Tissue paper. You're going to use a lot of Mod Podge. So either put it in a squirt bottle like I do, you know, in a like a glue type bottle, or work with some kind of basin that you can put it in, because you're going to use a lot. All right. Paintbrush to put your Mod Podge on, and what I do is I just take my tissue paper and I fold it in half, and then I fold it in half again, and then I just take some scissors and I cut some strips about 2 inches wide or so. And I just want to have kind of a stack of these strips hanging out, okay? And I don't want them to be the full length, so I cut the ends off of them. But, you know, you do you. If you want to do them longer, do them longer. If you want to do them shorter, do them shorter. In doing the roof, you're probably going to want them shorter. For that, I cut the strips down into smaller pieces, okay? So, I got all my strips. Let me get rid of my scraps. Something to protect your workspace. We're going to start with the walls on our piece, okay? So, doesn't matter where you begin. You guys know how to do this. Put some Mod Podge on here. Okay. Then once you have that on, take one of your strips, lay your strip on, and more. We're doing this to strengthen this, okay? We want this to be nice and strong. So we're going to do the whole thing twice. But the second coat, we're going to put in a different direction, all right? We're not going to do it the same way both times. So we're going to do the first one going around, you know, this way. And once we have this coat on, then we'll go ahead and we'll do another one where we put it going this way. So take your time and get your Mod Podge on and get your tissue paper on here, let it dry, and then we'll come back and we'll do the second part again together, so you guys are all certain of what I'm doing and how I'm doing it. Okay? And then we'll go the other direction. So for whatever reason you've never put on Mod Podge, put it on first. Sorry about that. You put it on first, then you cover it with your paper, and then you put some over the top of your paper. Okay? Now when you get to this little end piece like this, that's where these littler pieces come in handy. And we're just going to keep going. And as you put the second layer on, just overlap it. Okay? So you want the second one to be about a third back on the first one. The more layers you put on this, the better it's going to be, okay? So just keep putting that on. Go all the way around. At least a single coat, you know, on each piece. All right? And then we'll be back, and I'm going to walk you through the next part. I'll be right back. Okay, so we have the first round on. Now we're going to get started on the second one. And like I said, this one we're going to kind of put it going the opposite direction. You could do it, you know, diagonal if you want, but I just, you know,
Place your ass anywhere.
let me
Do you want this?
add this here. There we go.
There you go.
A little bit more up here. And, you know, if I have to, I can tack this around sweetly to the inside.
See, all these games call for one thing and I don't have it, and that's coordination. I'm on it.
So we're just going to go around and do all of that. 2 coats, you know, one going this way and then one going this way. And, you know, make sure that you overlap on the seams. Because you want to make this nice and thick, okay? Now, if you don't want to wrap this to the inside, then just cut your strips. So we're going to follow pretty much the same procedure here as we did on the house. The only difference is we're going to be using smaller pieces, and we're going to start at the top. Okay? Now, remember, if you don't have tissue paper and Mod Podge, take a little white glue, water it down a little bit, get out a paintbrush, get out that advertisement that they shove in your mailbox, or that free newspaper they throw on your driveway. Old wrapping paper will work just as good. You're basically just going to Mod Podge this on using smaller pieces because, you know, we're going in different weird directions here. So we're going to go ahead and cover this completely. Again, let it dry and then put a second coat. And if you don't want to put a second coat, you don't have to. I just recommend that you put a second coat on it because it's going to get, you know, it's going to get banged around a little bit. All right? So when this is all done, and you've got all your tissue paper on, the next part of this process is going to be putting a base color on. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this up, and then I'm going to bring back the bottom piece, and we're going to talk about, you know, base coating, because the next part of this is painting. if you're going to paint, to put a base underneath. And if you're not going to put a base underneath, you know, you're just going to cover it with paper, then that's fantastic. You don't have to look at the next part of the video. But if you're going to put a base of paint on here, then I'll see you back in just a few minutes. Okie dokie. All right. See you guys in a bit. Okay. So let's take a look at the other one real quick. So on this one, I put a base of gray paint. Okay, underneath the brickwork, I put a base of gray paint. So I want to put a base color on here, and I want to put on a tan, kind of a dark tan, but I didn't want it to be quite brown. So I have some earth brown here and some light mocha. And I'm just going to mix those together in the pot here. And I think I want it to be a little bit browner. So I am going to add a little bit more of the earth brown. Just a little. Perfect. And then I'm just going to give this 2 coats. So I'm going to give it the first coat, and then I'm going to let it dry, and then I'll go ahead and put the second coat on. And you'll notice that I didn't mix the paint completely. I kind of like that, you know, it differentiates the color a little bit, leaves some streaking of the 2 colors, and I kind of like that look because to me it looks a little more natural. And I don't know what I'm going to make this one. You guys will see it in the Facebook group because I will put it, I'll post it there when it's completed. So the idea is to have fun here. If you want to add windows, add windows. If you want to make your door open, make your door open. If you want to put a fireplace on the outside, put a fireplace on the outside. You want to give it a brick or, you know, exterior, give it a brick exterior. Whatever it is you want to do, okay? This is your house. You can decorate it for Christmas or for fall. You can do it for Halloween. You can have some wishful thinking that next spring is going to be actually a plantable season and we're going to get, you know, some flowers in the ground. Whatever it is you want to put on here, okay? This is your little house. Put whatever you want into it. You want to put eyeballs on it and give it a life of its own? Well, crap, name it Charlie. I don't care. The whole idea here is to have fun, guys. So, build your little house, decorate your little house, and then post your little house to my Facebook group or over at Darkwood Sanctuary. Well, you're going to do it in both, actually, because we'll cross-post if you don't. That way, everybody can see your beautiful creation. And then, right around New Year's, Amy and I are going to give away some participation thank yous for these. So you'll get 1 house, 1 entry. Doesn't matter if you only post it on one site, or if you make 2 houses and you post one on one and one on the other, you're still only going to get 1 entry. Okay, guys? So 1 entry per person. Build me a house. Make it fun, okay? All right, 2 coats of paint on this one. That's a single coat. We're going to wait and do the second coat. And we're going to talk about the other house real quick. So, when I did this one, I cut this out. I have a die that cuts out these little walking paths. and it leaves these little pieces. So I figured they kind of look like stones, so I went ahead and I put them on here. I left all of the crinkling and the folding over of the paper underneath, and then you can see there's some places where it's, and then painted it this gray color. And my door is actually a piece of ribbon that has a wood grain on it, and I just cut it in a circle and put it on there and traced around it. And I did use a little bit of silver paper so that it had a little bit of a glint to it every now and then. And then the roof, to do the roof, I cut 1.5-inch strips and I ran them through a paper crimper to get this crimped look. And then I just put the strips on with 1/4-inch foam tape so they stand up a little bit. There's a little bit of a gap between. And once I had that on, I just cut the edges off and then just covered the ends with some more paper. And then I cut a piece for the top that was just a 3x3 square, and I just sliced it on the corners and folded it down, glued it on. Okay? But you can do anything that you want. It's your house. That's it, guys. That's really all I have for you. This one will be completed when it's done. You'll see it in the Facebook group. So I invite you to have fun with this, play with this, enjoy yourselves, okay? Build me a house. All right? That's it, guys. That's all I have for you. Listen, if you're new here and you haven't done so already, go ahead and hit that button for me and subscribe. Like me, ring my bell, share me with all your friends, and your friends can be my friends, and my friends can be your friends, and our friends can get to be friends. And before you know it, we have a giant crafting community. I do go live on Wednesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, and Sundays. Let's see. Sundays we play trivia, and I invite you to come and play with us. It's fun, and there's a great group of ladies that come in and play, and we're always just laughing. And let's see what else we got going on. I have free classes that come out on Saturdays. If you want information on those, the best way to get that is to go ahead and make sure that when you ring the bell, you select the all notifications. And that way you find out about stuff as soon as it posts. The other thing that I have going on is my 12 of 22 challenge. And you do not need to make 12 journals, but you can still participate. If you want to participate, just go ahead and click that link below, and the link is going to take you over to a slideshow. It's going to tell you everything that you need to know in order to participate, and I look forward to seeing your creations. Until I see you again, stay well. Bye-bye.